How's it going, everyone? This is Snoop603 from Shustybang, and today we're going to do a little bit of a reflection. We've reached Endgame, the 5th and final DLC for Battlefield 3. So, in this group call, we have YNOTtheTiger.
Hello.
We have PhoenixWar.
Hi.
Scannerbarkly.
Hello.
And last but not least, actually very least, Fake Thriller. So, at this point in the game, I mean, it's been out pretty much a year and a half at this point. Not quite, give or take a month here. So, what we kind of want to do is just reflect on Battlefield 3 as a whole. Talk about what it's done for us, kind of our final viewpoints on it as a whole, because at this point, moving forward, we're focusing on some other games in the lull between the end of Battlefield 3's life cycle and Battlefield 4 coming up. So, I'm going to go ahead and let Tony start with his thoughts. Tony, how are you feeling about Battlefield 3 at this point?
I would say Battlefield 3, for me, at this point, I'm actually tired of it, I guess, is the only thing I can come up with. The thrill is gone, I'll be honest. The thrill is gone with Battlefield 3. Even though the in-game is out right now, just came out yesterday, I don't really find myself chomping at the bit to play it. And it's been like that since, I'd say, Armored Kill. You know, I play it out of habit. I don't play it out of because I have that thrill to play it. So it's gotten old for me. I don't know about you guys, but that's really all I can say right now. At this point, I just don't have that excitement level that I used to have for it. I mean, air superiority, that's really fun, and I might play that more. But overall, I'm really starting to explore different things now.
Spoken like a true PC adoptee.
Not even close, man.
So close, dude.
No,
so
because
close.
like for me, I've got other games that are closely associated with my channel. I got baseball that just came out yesterday, so I'll be playing that a lot. And I picked up Tomb Raider, and I'm going to really enjoy that just for the sake of enjoying the game, just like Assassin's Creed 3. So playing a game that I've been playing for the last year and a half, it doesn't have the same appeal as the new titles that are out.
Yeah,
So
I know.
Specifically, what was it that made you stop playing? Was it something that just fucking flat out angered you? You're like, you know what, I'm so tired of this aspect of the game, I'm done? Or is it just, it's been out long enough, and given the life cycle of games, and especially taking it from a YouTuber's perspective, did it just wear out and you're like, okay, there's nothing fun about this, I've tackled it from every friggin' angle possible, I'm done, I'm ready to move on?
I'll take it from two's perspective. From a gamer's perspective, it just got old. You know, we're used to, and I know we've come from a Call of Duty background, so we're used to the 1 year life cycle, and that's what I'm used to. So having the game go a year and a half, you're coming up on a year and a half, it's really stretching my interest. I mean, they've done a good job with coming out with DLC that comes out, you know, every 2 months or so. That's been good to keep me interested, but it's been more of the same since Close Quarters. Like, Close Quarters was the one thing for me that was like, holy shit, I really want to play this game a lot, because it was totally different from the Battlefield experience. And then Armored Kill was completely boring. And then I would say Aftermath, it had cool aspects, but it wasn't anything that wowed me. And then so far, in-game is pretty much the same lines as Aftermath. It's just kind of like, well, it's there. You know, I don't know. I just don't have the same affection as I did at post Close Quarters. Like, that was the exciting period for me. Now, as far as a YouTuber, I've got plenty of other games. You know, Battlefield, baseball. Sometimes I used to throw in Call of Duty, but not anymore. So I've got a handful of other games that I could go to that I round out my channel. So I'm not exclusively a Battlefield channel. I don't know what it would be like to be a channel that is exclusively Battlefield and have to deal with playing the same thing. I mean, you could explore every aspect of this game in probably the 2 year lifespan it's going to have, and that's great. But I think a lot of people aren't interested in that. After a while, you get the basics down, and then once you know the basics, you stop looking for tip videos. So I think if I was a Battlefield only channel, I would have a really hard time playing Battlefield.
These expansions that have come out, the game itself is cut from the cloth of a 1 year game. Like the games that you think that last longer than 1 or 2 years are massive titles like World of Warcraft or StarCraft. These things that go beyond just the game, and the expansions for Battlefield 3 don't deliver. Like, The way I'm looking at it now that everything's out and we have everything available to us, this game would have been phenomenal if it shipped with all the game modes that have been sprinkled in through each expansion, and instead of calling everything expansions, it would have been weapon DLC and map DLC. So, like the expansions themselves weren't enough to keep the game going, like over the schedule that they had picked out. If Warfighter had turned out to be good and everybody had shifted their attention over to Warfighter, they would have drawn a lot of heat away from Battlefield, and then in our minds, it wouldn't have been played out so quickly, and then these expansions would be even better. But Battlefield is on its own right now. It's floating in space, and every time an expansion comes out, it's done to death before it even launches. Everybody knows everything about Endgame right now, and it's been out for 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Battlefield is a very good game, and it has a lot of great things about it, but the content delivery over the last year and a half has been subpar, but it's not necessarily its fault. It's just in the situation that it's in. It's under too close of scrutiny to really be able to succeed. That's my opinion.
So do you think, like, if Battlefield 3 kept like an element of surprise, it probably would have done a bit better? Because I know every time something comes out, everyone's going crazy. Tell me more, tell me more. I need information, I need information. Whereas you see other DLCs, they don't do that as such. Like Assassin's Creed 3, I know a bad example, but
Right.
even like Tomb Raider, you know, there's a special DLC out on Xbox. And, you know, that was like a surprise.
Yeah,
Well-
it's the expectation of us as gamers, I think, for DLC to refresh the game almost completely.
Right.
You know, that's what we want from a DLC. We want something that's so different to what we've been playing within the mechanics of the game, like modes or maps or, you know, whatever it is that sets the difference. We need that because we're thinking we're already starting to get a little tired by the time the first DLC hits. And they know that because they're watching the server numbers dropping off.
Well, that's my point. Is these 5 expansions shouldn't be expansions. They should be DLC. And I know that's kind of nitpicky on the verbiage, but think about Bad Company 2 and that Vietnam was an expansion.
Yeah,
Like, they had new maps, new guns, and everything was
sound effects and everything.
Yeah, everything, like new mechanics and everything. So that's an expansion. These are just download packs that have been camouflaged to look like big DLC, and when they're wrapped up in that package, they're destined to fail because they're too far apart, and there's not enough content in them to really, you know, keep you excited for very long.
That's a really good point about the whole expansion, because back when expansion packs were really truly expansion packs, they were a whole brand new game that added on to the actual original title.
Right.
So I think I really agree with you. I think if all the game modes suddenly became available for all of the different you know, the vanilla maps and all the different maps,
Right.
all the DLCs that came together, that I think would have changed things for me, because the one thing I don't like is that each individual DLC has its own little flavor that doesn't cross over to the other ones. Like, what if I want to play as one of the beat up characters from Aftermath in the original maps, you know?
Right. There's
You
no
go back to
reason
that.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no reason that shouldn't have been included.
So I think that might have changed up, because that's game wide. Because when you go and you play your vanilla maps, you're like, those are the vanilla map. I'm gonna play close quarters, back to Karkin, which kind of ties really closely together anyways to the vanilla maps. But when you go Aftermath, Endgame, and Armor Kill, there's like 3 just distinct flavors of the game, and it would be so nice if they just meshed like all into one cohesive game.
Right. And on top of that, if they had... To me, it feels like they've kept these game modes like Capture the Flag and Air Superiority. And imagine if Battlefield 3, when it launched, it had all of these game modes available.
Yeah, like tank superiority, air superiority.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
If they had actually had all that crap from the very beginning, this game would have done so much better, and it would have attracted so many more people. It's just... I hate how they came out with so little options, and it really, to me, it's really limited the game and its popularity.
They don't even have a free-for-all mode. Like,
Yeah.
they're all over the place, and it makes it feel like they kept these game modes hostage to try and promote interest. But then when they go and release Gunmaster with close quarters, it doesn't even integrate itself back into the vanilla maps, you know?
Yep. And it just, fatigue would have set in so much later with game modes. There's only so many times you can play Rush or Conquest.
Right.
You know, at the PTFO game modes. And then you start to get a little bored of one or the other, or both. But if from day one you can play 3 or 4 rounds of Rush and then go off and play Scavenger, and then go off and play Air Superiority and then Tank Superiority, you're playing them all that much less over the same amount of time that you don't get bored of any of them, because they always feel fresh and new when you go back.
And then if they integrated things better, every time a DLC map pack comes out, all of a sudden you go through all of those maps with all of the new, or all of the game modes that you have, which therefore extends the life of both the new maps and every game mode. So the delivery, I think, hopefully is a lesson learned. I don't know. I haven't heard too many people talking about the overall content delivery with Battlefield 3, but hopefully they have something different in mind for Battlefield 4.
Yeah. Proper expansions.
So what would you say is like been your favorite DLC then? Let's make it a positive. It's been really negative so far.
Well, my favorite DLC, and it goes right in line with everything that I was just talking, is Back to Karkin, because it felt, you know, like we were just like pumping on all cylinders, and then boom, here we go, 4 new maps, and what was it, 10 weapons?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, hello, yes please, and then that was back in the day where you could join a Rush playlist, and it would have new maps and old maps all mixed in together. So it felt like a true expansion at that point. I mean, not as much as Vietnam, like I was saying, but still, it felt like the game just got that much bigger.
Right.
So it felt that much more well executed. And then I mean, it might be a little blurry because the game was so new. Like, we were only a couple months into the game itself, so we hadn't even you know, unlocked everything and figured everything out. But I don't know, just thinking back on Karkin, there's nothing bad about Karkin, but every other expansion has a
stigma to it.
A gripe. Yeah.
See, for me it was different because I'm a Christmas noob, so I got given the limited edition, so I had Back to Karkan in it. So to me, all those maps were just all that, you know, came at once to me. So I mean, I love Back to Karkan, but my favorite one DLC would probably be Aftermath, which is a lot later, wasn't it? When did that come out? September. So I had 9 months to deal with Battlefield 3, and I think Aftermath was probably like what Back to Karkan is for you. Like, everything's orange and new for me. I just like the dynamic of it. I love Scavenger. I don't know, you guys have a different opinion to me, because I still love Battlefield 3. Maybe it's because I never spent a lot of time with it before. When I used to play, it used to be like once every weekend.
Yeah.
So, and then I only like started to meet like, I don't know, like Snoov and you guys like April. So I had already like limited gaming at that time. So I guess for me, the love for Battlefield 3 is still there, and I don't think it's going to be gone for quite a while. I don't know.
See, one of the things that hit me and really like took the wind out of my sails when it came to Battlefield 3 is every single patch that came out felt like they were just making the game more and more bland, and they were taking away some overpowered weapons. I mean, I don't want to get into a debate as to what was overpowered or anything like that, but
that's not OP.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but I felt like they never really buffed too many things. It was always just a nerf. Like, nerf everything down to mediocrity instead of making things exceptional. I mean, the UMP-45 got a little bit of love toward a little bit later in life, and but that actually caused a bunch of bitching. So
Yeah.
It's a tough one. Strange enough, though, with Phoenix, I don't actually I'm not bored with Battlefield so much. Snoov can probably echo my sentiment that it's gotten a little bit tiring on console since I've played it on PC.
Oh yeah, I agree with that, man.
And it has shit all to do with like the way it looks and the frames per second and all that stuff is nice. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful looking game on PC. But when you've got those bigger player counts on the servers, the game is completely different.
Yeah.
Just tactically
like
and
a
everything.
real, like
You
a real
have to
Battlefield.
relearn the maps because you no longer know where crowds congregate and what corners get covered anymore when there's like 32 people trying to shoot you in the face.
Right. Exactly. I feel the same way.
Yeah, it feels fresh to me on PC. Like, I still love Battlefield. It feels fresh. I did a comms about it today, talking about how I don't want to push the boat out on endgame console or endgame console content because I'm not enjoying it. So just give me time for the endgame PC version to come out and I'll give you what you want. You know, all the videos you want that I can think of, I'll make.
So you're
Yeah, I think
saying
Endgame
you're
is
not
gonna
really big on pushing out like game after game of raw gameplay? Because I was kind of looking forward to seeing all that stuff on Endgame.
I wouldn't be a massive fan of it, no. It wouldn't be my thing. I like to do piss take tank drop videos.
That was epic on many proportions, sir.
There was just so many of them. I was like, oh, another tank drop video. I must make one myself. I thought it was like a contest.
I feel like we skipped over me in my favorite DLC, and I feel slighted by this.
Go.
Yeah, and Tony.
You know, I actually really wanted to say that it was Aftermath, but I'm gonna have to agree with Chris and say it was Back to Karkin because it had everything. It wasn't just the new maps. It had, some assignments. It had the new weapons to unlock and everything. It felt like an expansion, to steal the exact words from Chris. It didn't just feel like a DLC. It felt like a true expansion of the game because even the map sizes were roughly the same. And just having all those new weapons to work with after a short amount of time where you didn't even get to really go through everything, it just... The wow factor is there.
A lot of people forget, too, that it had Conquest Assault.
Yes,
introduced.
which I love. That game mode gets no love, and I love it.
It's fantastic. It's a shame that it's only on the Back to Karkin servers, correct? Or
I think
apps?
it's those maps that... I don't think do they have regular Conquest on those maps, too?
I think they do.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, it's just a shame that they didn't also... I guess that's one of the things I don't like about all the DLCs, to digress just for 1 second, is that they didn't make all these game modes available for every single map. But definitely Back to Karkin for my favorite DLC, for all the reasons listed by Chris and that I've echoed. But I gotta tell you, right on the heels of it, and we're splitting hairs here, it's probably like a 50.5 to 49.5. Aftermath is right behind it, because I love those maps. I thought that while there wasn't anything overly unique about them, they were still different enough with all the different tiers while still technically being on the same level that it really added a whole different element of gameplay and speed to Battlefield 3 while still sticking kind of the traditional look and feel of it.
Yep, I agree.
I would say, okay, don't get me wrong. I still love Battlefield. I know I've been kind of shitting on it for a little bit, but I still love Battlefield. I really do love Battlefield. But the thing is, like, it just got a little blend. But for me, I would actually say my favorite DLC is Close Quarters. It is the game modes. It's just the expansion pack that I play the most. Close second though is Back to Karkin, and just because it takes me back to my Battlefield 2 days on my PC, you know, playing those maps that I played on not console but on PC back in, God, I can't remember what year it was, but maybe like 2006 or something like that. Like, it's cool to see those maps revived and like remastered and put into, you know, an HD platform. And then I'd say after that maybe is Aftermath. Well, the one aspect I think is the integration of like the earthquakes and the tremors and stuff. But like I said, it's Close Quarters. Definitely Close Quarters for me.
We've had a lot of fun games on Close Quarters.
Yeah, it's definitely like the, you know, I hate to say it, you know, now that I'm so much more of a Battlefield player, but it's the tiny little Call of Duty player inside of me saying, this is what I always wanted out of Call of Duty. And I got it in Battlefield Close Quarters.
I feel like Close Quarters lack the ability to have real strategy, though.
Yeah, I think that's what was great about it. It was just like this clusterfuck of just kill everything in sight.
Run around like a madman.
Fast-paced. Yeah, you could run. I mean, there is strategy involved because there's routes to run, and once you play it enough, you pick up the routes, you pick up where people like to play. So there does become a little strategy, but it's just sheer chaos of it is what is awesome.
Yeah, the best thing about it was that, like, domination allows you to PTFO without PTFOing.
You're just there.
Yeah, you're just there.
Not
You're
cap a
standing on a
flag.
small map. There's a flag close to you, and you don't really venture to it so much to capture it. You venture to it because you know if you capture it, 4 lads are going to come screaming down the hallway, and you can PKP the shit out of them.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the joy of close quarters. It was that quick, instant fix, and I didn't even have to take Battlefield disc out of my PS3.
Now everybody's claiming their favorite DLC. Is everyone purposely ignoring Endgame, or are you guys considering it and not choosing it?
Wait, I gotta say this. Regarding Endgame, this is where I put it. So, back to Karkin, my favorite, which is greater than Aftermath, just by a little bit. Which is greater than Close Quarters. Still good, but I prefer the other two to that. Which is greater than, at this point, Endgame. Which is greater than any fucking DLC from any game you could ever think of, ever. Which is finally greater than Armored Kill. I put Armored Kill so fucking far down the list. And this is just for console, okay? I gotta put that out there. And we all knew that it was intended for the PC players. And so I thought, okay, well maybe it'll still be half decent on console. Nope, hell no. It's just that fucking bad. And that AC-130 was so rage-inducing. That is where I put Armored Kill.
It broke the game.
It did.
Yep.
Scanner, I thought it was funny. I was watching your video on air superiority, and you were talking about how everyone gets a jet. Wait, was that you or was that Tony?
No, that was me.
Yeah, everyone gets a jet, unlike tank superiority, where some people don't get tanks.
Yeah.
Like, thanks.
I can't consider in-game because I've played like 2 hours of it.
Yeah, I haven't played it
I can't
either,
even consider it.
So mine
When
is...
Yeah, I don't want to judge
downloaded
something.
Aftermath. I loaded Aftermath up, and the first game I played, I actually got like super excited and almost nervous that I was allowing my senses to lie to me about how much fun I was having. The first game of Aftermath, I was like, fuck, these maps are awesome. Oh my god, new goddamn character renders. Oh my god, this is epic. And I knew I was going to struggle between Aftermath and Karkin for my favorite DLCs, for what I considered the best ones. Endgame comes out, I was just meh.
Yeah.
Just meh. That's how I know it's not going to be like, no matter what happens, it's not, because it didn't give me that instant excitement that other DLCs have.
I think for me when I can echo what you're saying about the meh feeling, because when you start playing, you're just like, this looks so much like Bad Company 2. The colors, the same sort of orange grass and shrubbery, and the snow map. It's just like the snow map from Bad Company 2. You know, a lot of it was just, it felt recycled. That's really what I could say about it when you're playing those maps. You're just like, well, it feels too similar. I want new and fresh and exciting, and, you know, if it's snowing, I mean, if you got snow map, how about it snows? Or how about it's a night snow map? Or without the blue tent?
Yeah, that snow map is like a... I know which one you're talking about. When you play Rush on it, it's like a hybrid of a Bad Company 2 map and that Operation Firestorm.
So.
And I've noticed that a lot. I don't think they made an effort, but that's just another topic altogether.
Yeah, that's
the in-game.
I'm gonna reserve judgment. I mean, I definitely have a feeling that in-game is going to be better than Armored Kill. I got a feeling.
I could kick you in the face and it would be better than Armored Kill. You know what I mean? You'd sit there and you go, at least I didn't have to play Armored Kill.
Yeah.
You guys are so mean. I like Armored Kill.
Well, you know what? I do like Armored Kill just because I can go in and fly and shoot down people in AC-130 because they don't bail out, so it's free kills.
Well, I like tank superiority. I think I prefer that way.
Well, I do like
air superiority.
Yeah, I like tank superiority too, but it doesn't save the DLC as it's kind of made for console.
No, I guess not.
Well, and you know what? I'll say to give Tank Superiority a little credit, their TDM maps are actually really nice. I actually like those TDM maps.
Yeah, that's true as well.
I'll play devil's
maybe it's
advocate
just
here.
Conquest and Rush that just utterly suck.
I agree, but I'll play devil's advocate regarding tank superiority. I could not think of a bigger fucking waste of my time than to play that game mode. I don't know what. I don't know. I'll say it's just me personally, but that game is just so boring. I think I played like 5 games. I was like, that's literally all I ever need to play on this game mode ever again. It was just so boring.
The gameplay mechanics for the tanks in Battlefield 3 don't lend themselves to a massive, like, free-for-all like that, because I have some of the best memories I have of playing Nintendo 64 with my brothers, is playing Battle Tanks.
Yes.
Which is essentially the same game, only, you know, the whole game is tank
Triangle.
superiority.
Yeah.
And that was amazing. That was an amazing game. But that's like fast paced, and you don't have to worry about the control. Like, there's such unrealistic controls in Battle Tanks, which. Sorry, my phone was just coming in my room. No, but you can't go and change all the tank mechanics just to fit that one game mode. So I think that really put a strain on the enjoyment factor, and it must have been a hardware limitation that didn't allow them to have enough tanks for everybody or something.
I think it was just a silly design choice. I honestly do. DICE have made some silly design choices over the course of Battlefield 3, and that's easy for me to sit here and say and sound like a dick, and I don't mean it like a dick. It's just, it's gonna happen. There's going to be little design flaws.
Well, a perfect example is, hey, let's add an AC-130. Oh shit, we need a way for people to take out the AC-130. I know, let's extend the Stinger range to 400 meters.
Yeah, and then let's fuck over every heli pilot and jet pilot in the game.
Exactly.
Right.
It's okay though, we'll come up with their superiority to solve their burns.
Yeah. But oh wait, they're not happy about that.
Like, I don't want to sit here and kick the shit out of Battlefield though. I really don't. Like, it's been an amazing game that I've put probably closing in on 1,000 hours into. You know, it's like, it's a fantastic game. It's just, Jesus, like 1,000 hours with anything and it's going to start getting samey and you're going to want to move on. The telling part is for me about like how good of a game it is. Ask anyone who's played Battlefield 3. Are you looking forward to Battlefield 4? The answer is an instant yes. Ask anyone who's played Assassin's Creed 3, are you looking forward to Assassin's Creed 4? You're not going to get that instant yes. You're going to get thought, you know, from a large amount of people who answer the question.
That's an instant yes for me.
Yeah, but you know, you're like a small percentage of people who only deal with it.
Damn it.
You know what I mean? That's the impact it had on the gamers. Everybody loved it. I haven't run into anyone yet who's played it and gone, I don't like this. I know a load of guys who traditionally do Call of Duty, either gaming wise or YouTube wise, and for the last couple of months they've all been rocking Battlefield 3 because it's so fresh and new to them. You know, it's dragging people over and it's getting new people into it, and Battlefield 4 it's gonna kick balls. That's just the way it is.
Battlefield 4 has prime position to take the #1 spot next year because I think, financially speaking, the Call of Duties of the past 2 years have failed to match the sales of the year prior. I think it peaked with Modern Warfare. No, it peaked with Black Ops 1.
Ops.
Yeah, Black Ops 1 peaked, and Modern Warfare 3 was less, and then Black Ops 2 was actually less than Modern Warfare 3. So, and now we're coming around to another Infinity Ward year when Battlefield 4 is coming out. So there's going to be a lot of disappointed fanboys from Call of Duty looking for a good game to play, and if Battlefield 4 hits it out of the park, it's going to be a killer.
Yep, absolutely.
If they do it right, though. So here's a question. I'd love to get your guys' opinion on whether or not they come out and say Battlefield 4 Premium. Would you shell out $50 for an identical premium service?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
You
Very
don't
much
think-
so.
You don't
Actually,
think?
I'll say yes.
You don't think that the fact that DICE and EA have your money up front doesn't keeps them from having to hold themselves to a high standard?
Dude, let's be honest.
No.
No matter what the fuck we do or what they do, they already know exactly what they're gonna do before any of that shit's even announced. So regardless of how they get the money or when or how little or how much, changes nothing.
I disagree.
No,
Yeah.
I,
But here's the thing though, is Go ahead, sorry.
Real quick, the reason why I say it is because EA is a publicly traded company and they have shareholders that they have to answer to. And
Yeah,
because of that, they have to have a plan lined up ahead of time to figure out how they're going to, report all their profits on this crap so they keep the shareholders happy. If it were a private company, I think that totally changes everything. But because of EA's, public position, I really think they're limited as to what they can do regardless of what kind of money comes in or doesn't.
Here's what I was gonna say. As YouTubers, it's going to be our responsibility to a certain extent to get the DLC to share to our subscribers to help them make a decision whether or not they want to get it. So it's sort of for lack of a better term, it's a business purchase. I mean, we're going to be buying it anyway, so why not save $10 in the deal?
Well, right. I'm just saying more of a principle standpoint.
Plus, to conflict with what Tony said, kind of, like, as a YouTuber and as a gamer, whether you like a game or a DLC or not, I don't give a shit, and it doesn't affect me. Because I'll think about what you're saying, and if there's any obvious major flaws in the mechanics and the graphics looks like shit and stuff, and you're pointing that out to me, that's fair enough. But you enjoying a game or not enjoying a game doesn't indicate to me truly whether I will or won't enjoy it. All I can do is sit there and go, well, you know, I really like the main game, so I'm going to buy this new DLC and see what it's like. And I'm going to do that each time. Because, especially the way this model worked, would have been, I would have bought back to Karkand and it would have kicked ass. And I would have bought Close Quarters and it would have entertained the hell out of me. And then I would have started thinking, shit, I'm probably going to buy them all. Why didn't I buy Premium?
Yeah.
You know, I need to play something myself to know if I like it or not. And I will like a shit game and I will enjoy it and I will not apologize. That's one of my main flaws as a person, I think.
I agree.
So I know I'm going to buy the DLCs. I might as well just buy the Premium and get the DLCs.
I'll
If
get
I don't
it
like
if I
it,
get.
fuck it.
Yeah, I'll get it if I get a PC. I will definitely pay it because I think everything's fun on PC. Sorry, consoles.
But I guess what it really comes down to for me too is it's money saving. Penny saved is a penny earned, man. So even if I'm only saving $5, it's totally worth it to me.
And I mean, here's the other aspect that I didn't get a chance to touch on because I said something so controversial, but DLCs usually purchased, like, you know, if your friends are buying something, you're going to buy it too. And I hate to make that sort of spin, but it's true. I mean, it's the same way with Call of Duty DLC. I bought all the Call of Duty DLC for Black Ops. I didn't touch Modern Warfare 3, but all my friends were buying it. So I'm like, well, why don't I want to play with them? You know, that's the thing. I want to, so I'm going to buy it. So I'm going to get, you guys are going to be getting the DLC. Why would I not buy the DLC? So that's the other aspect I would look at it from, like, a regular, say, gaming standpoint. So it only makes sense. It only makes sense to pick up, you know, Premium. And, you know, if they have, like, Premium, Battlefield 4 Premium pre-orders in, you know, September, shit, I might just do it then.
For that beta.
Or that beta.
Gotta get the
Beta.
Liking of, like, sometimes I've been burnt by the way I've chosen, like, to buy DLCs or season passes especially. But I don't know, like, just hours wise, I imagine all those DLCs stuck an extra 400 hours onto my playtime of Battlefield. So that's $50 for 400 hours of entertainment.
Yeah, you can't really. If you ever took a video game and made that cost analysis, you'd almost always find that it's a very good deal to buy anything video game related.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just a very, very good deal with regards to Battlefield.
Right.
I mean, they could make me gun shy then with the next game. They could fuck it up. The core game is fantastic and all the DLC suck. And then I'm rolling at the next one going, I don't think I'm going to buy Premium.
Right.
You know, it all depends on how things go. If any of you heard that, that was my cats eating each other's faces, I think.
I did hear that.
Crazy bastards.
All right, we've covered a lot. And I think we pretty much covered everything regarding it. I guess the only thing we haven't really covered, and to be honest, I don't think anyone has really ever covered regarding Battlefield 3 and how it pertains to them as a YouTuber. This was Phoenix's idea. It's actually a really good point. Scanner, we'll start with you. What? How do I want to word this so it makes sense? How has Battlefield 3 like affected your channel? Like how has it worked out for you? Has it kind of helped you grow? You kind of know what I'm trying to ask?
Oh yeah, I know what you're trying to ask, and I was actually thinking about this in depth after I knew we'd be talking about it. And for me, I can actually quite confidently say that my channel wouldn't be there without Battlefield 3. Not from a content point of view, just because Battlefield 3 was the game that I used to start interacting with people again after not interacting with people for so long when I was sick. So I just started talking to people, and you know,
So
it all
you-
grew from there.
So you can confidently say that Battlefield 3 saved your life.
Pretty much. I'm gonna tweet Gustav and Zinto. Tell him that. But
Good.
yeah, no, it really did. Like, Battlefield is the reason my channel is there, and it's helped my channel grow. Like, it's not a big channel, but it's a big channel to me because I never saw anything over 100 subs. But this Battlefield content was bringing people in, and they were interested in what I had to say, the fools. And it's just definitely been a big part of it. More than that, though, it's been a case of the people I've met. You know, like, everybody in this call I wouldn't know,
Right.
except for Battlefield and YouTube. Because if it wasn't for that combination, if I started doing YouTube and some other game, it would be reasonably unlikely that we'd run into each other. Just that slight difference in the core perspective of games would mean we'd probably not have crossed paths. But Battlefield allowed us to cross paths and then spend time actually like shooting the shit while we're shooting people. So it had a huge impact, I reckon.
All right, Tony, how about you?
It's pretty much the same thing, not channel-wise, but just the people. The people that I've met have been, I guess, big. You know, you guys, you Snoop and Chris and Phoenix, and Scanner was the latest one to the group, and guys like Veggie, who now long since vanished. It has been great to meet just people and get to know you guys, not from a YouTube standpoint or a gaming standpoint, but make these more, I don't know, realistic, like real in life, in real life friendships. So for me, it's been the people. I know if I wasn't playing Battlefield, I wouldn't have met you guys. I wouldn't have met a handful of other people that I know I speak with regularly. So for me, that's the best aspect of it. I don't think my channel would be, I mean, it would have grown. Without it would not have grown. So Battlefield does contribute to the growth factor of my channel, but it's not, my channel's not solely based in Battlefield, so I'm not, I can't really put that much of a factor on it. But like I said, it's just the people that I've met. It's fantastic people, and it would be weird to know where I'd be right now without Battlefield 3. That's the game that I've been, I guess it's a platform in which I've met a lot of you people. I think my life would be a lot more bland and boring.
Yeah, I can kind of relate to that. I guess Battlefield 3 kind of brought me to you guys as well. I mean, I don't have a channel, but the way I managed to like interact with you, who is it I interacted with was Snoo first, and all I was doing was just like browsing YouTube videos because I was playing alone because one of my friends ditched me to go Call of Duty, traitor. I know, he's so bad. And then I was just like, well, how do I do this stuff? Instead, because you don't get an instruction manual, I thought, let me look on YouTube. And then I see PC gameplay, and then I'm like, oh, I'm not on PC gameplay. So I just typed in PS3, and the first thing that came up was Shustybang. Oh, Snoop, actually, yeah, it was.
Works.
Yeah, no. First thing I saw was Shustybang, and I was just like, oh, okay, these guys are interesting, and they got like, what, 1,000 subs? You guys might have grown. But yeah, I was just like 1K subs, and then I watched a video, and I think, I don't know what it was, I think it was just one of like Snoop raging and you laughing at him. And I was like, these guys are funny. And I guess next thing I know, it's really funny because I saw your channel, and then Snoop messaged me. Say, hey, I'm not gonna give away too much because he was advertising and being disgusting. And the YouTube
No
inbox,
such thing.
YouTube inbox thing, check out my channel. And I was just like, oh, who's this? And obviously I was quite new to YouTube, and I just said hello to everybody, even though half of them are just like trolls. But so I replied back, and I guess that's how we got talking, isn't it? And then I was just like, I think it was later on you figured out that I was a female. I don't know what happened. I was just like, yeah. And he was just like, oh, never find females playing Battlefield. And I guess we were just like, just add each other on PSN. And I grew from there. Then I met Tony, and then from Tony I met like Akuma, EJ, Wes. And we became like our own little group, didn't we, Tony?
Oh yeah, over the summertime.
Yeah, and I think it did kind of like be a change of lifestyle for me, because it's like, I'll go to work, then in the evening I'll be like, oh, let's see who's on Skype, and it'd be these guys because of the time difference, and it was just awesome. So then they'd tire me out, and then I go to bed, and then work again. It was cool. So I guess if Battlefield 3 didn't exist, I don't think I would be able to come out confidently and be like, hey, I play Battlefield, and yes, I'm a woman. I know it sounds kind of deep, but does that make sense? Because now I'm thinking,
Yes.
yeah,
So what you're saying is Battlefield 3 saved your life.
Hang on. I want to get back to one important point that Phoenix said. You're a woman?
yeah, I know, right?
God
I'm
damn.
You're a girl. That's how, oh god, I hear that so many times. But yeah, like, I met so many other girls who play it as well, and like I said, like, I've been gaming since I was like, I don't know, 4 or 5, and I've always had to like hide that I was like a chick or something, because I get lots of shit. I mean, even now, probably even this video, I'm probably gonna get lots of crap.
No. Snoo is on the case of keeping the trolls out. You don't got to worry about nothing.
Yeah, but like, it made me feel more confident to just be like, why should I hide it? Yeah, I'm a chick. Deal with it. If you get raped by me, then that's your issue, not mine.
I do love it when you nemesis the shit out of somebody in a game, and then like that game ends up on the goddamn like internet somewhere, and they're like, "Oh my god, that was a girl in here!" Like, yeah, you got smashed by a girl, dude. Deal with it.
Sweet. But yeah, no, I think my best highlight was meeting you guys. Scanner definitely recently.
Yeah.
And then obviously it made me. That's another thing we haven't touched upon. How social has BF3 made everybody? I think like Twitter. Not many people. I don't know if many people use Facebook, but Twitter is a definite big example, isn't it? Everyone's on there. They can all chat to their favorite YouTuber or whatever, or you can find other players so easily and just find common interests. I think Battlefield 3 has probably incorporated that a lot, because I don't see that happening with like the COD community.
Yeah, I will say I don't think it would have mattered what game it was that got me on Twitter. When I first did it, it was purely for promotional. Like, I was like, Twitter's stupid. I don't know what the hell I'm doing on here. But Chris convinced me. He's like, no, man, give it a chance. And I was like, all right, well, fuck it. Just to placate him for the time being and just to say I'm on there, I'm just going to use it to promote our videos every day. Just, tweet out a link once. And from there, it evolved to anyone that sees me on Twitter now can see what it has evolved to. I mean, I use that thing like an email for fucking everyone that follows me. I talk to a shit ton of people all day, every day. But I don't think Battlefield had any effect on that whatsoever. It was just the way it started. It was an ends to a means, if you will.
Gonna happen.
Yep.
The Battlefield community is interesting though, in that it's very easy. Like, once you're honest and upfront and real about your shit, it's very, very easy to talk to people. Once you're not one of those little fucking guys who's kind of doing anything they can to get those subs, people will give you their time and will give you respect for what you're doing. They're very, very friendly. I haven't really met too many people that I consider to be an asshole. And that kind of surprises me, because normally when I meet people, I instantly think they're an asshole. It doesn't matter who they are.
I can think of one person.
I can think of a few.
I'm sure we all can think of a few.
But like, it's surprisingly friendly and surprisingly nice. Like, I'd meet Chris and Snoo, pretty big ass Battlefield 3 YouTubers, and you expect a degree of attitude to come with a degree of success, but there was none. And I'm like, okay, they're just dudes. And like Jack yesterday, a very big, well-respected player and YouTuber, and that guy was just down to earth as hell.
Yeah, and also like Battlefield podcasts as well. They've been around for ages, and you come across these people and you find out new things about everybody. I think that's the interesting part. Like, when I met Ola and them lot, I thought they were just like up and coming, and then they go to me, they've been doing Battlefield since 6 years, and I was just like, what?
Amazing.
I didn't know they've been doing like Battlefield since Battlefield first originated, and we're all jumping the ship at Bad Company 2. Well, for me anyway. So, I find some interesting people, and then there's the not so great people, and I agree, just be yourself, man. That's just, like I said, that's another topic as well, just YouTube in general. What do you do? Should you be concentrating on just having fun and having like a part-time hobby, or do you be so serious about it that you take a day off work and I don't know, spend all day just on your ass,
Only
editing
in
and
my
all this other
dreams.
stuff. Yeah, but like, but some people just take it way too seriously, like with the networking and just like sucking up, and I dislike that. So that's something I used to see in the COD community, like view for review or sub for a sub, or like, or check out this and check out that, and then I see it in the Battlefield and it kind of irritates me. I mean, Endgame is a perfect example of how many videos I've seen, like from just like one person posting God knows how many, another person posting God knows how many on just like I guess why Scanner posted his tank drop video.
Yeah,
And
it's just like there's
it's
no real
promoting
point in
stuff like
churning
that.
out the content because it's empty. Empty
Yeah.
content is useless to me anyway. That's just me personally. I'd rather watch something that like a lot of people say like never do your first impressions on day one, and it's like okay, so when the fuck do you get your first impressions? Because me, I get mine the first time I play the damn thing.
Right. It's
Exactly.
called first impressions,
It's called
not
Yeah.
1
first
week later
impressions.
impressions on day one.
Exactly. Not I've carefully watched what everybody else has decided, and I've decided the same thing. Coincidentally, Armored Kill. I said in my first goddamn video that the AC-130 was bust to hell, that it was paper on Conquest and it was OP on Rush, and I got called a fag by so many people who 2 or 3 weeks later were saying exactly what I said.
Yep, singing the same tune.
It's like
Yeah, I think you
sometimes
guys
your
got that
first
crap as
impression
well.
is going to be right, and when you get smashed into oblivion by a game mechanic repeatedly, you can be pretty sure you have an accurate concept of what it can do in the game. So just, I don't know, just fucking talk more on day one. That's what I want to see. People talking more,
Yep.
taking a few risks with their opinions.
I agree. Well, as far as our aspect, you know what, Chris, I'm going to let you actually take it. I just want to say one thing. I have met a lot of absolutely awesome people, not just in this call, plenty outside of the call as well. And I have also met some fucking terrible people. And apparently, I've also learned that I suck at first impressions, because I thought I met some really cool people that turned out to just suck, and some people I thought that sucked turned out to be really cool.
Yeah,
But I guess-
Fine to say you thought I sucked.
No, he thought I did, and then he liked me
Oh,
to the
that's
end.
okay.
You should see some of the PM replies we get. Like I get an email on my phone every time somebody sends us a PM, but I don't get an email every time somebody comments. So sometimes I get these responses from people PMing Snoob after he's like berated them in the comment section. And I'm like, the fuck did you say to these people? He's like, yo man, I'm really sorry. I really like you guys. I hope you didn't. I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, and you want to talk about first impressions?
Yeah, it's funny, and he's the one who handles the social aspect of things.
I know. Well, it's one of those, and I've said this from day one, if you're going to be an asshole right up front, I'm going to dish it right back out to you, because to me, that's how life works. If you're really nice, I'm going to treat you nicely, because I treat people the way I want to be treated. And I never treat anyone poorly unless I've been attacked right up front. And no holds barred, man. I'll come out fist swinging if you just want to be a dick right up front. Like, okay, you want to play the asshole game? Let's do this.
Like, I think I would need more fingers and toes to count how many videos of ours has Snoov as the top comment telling somebody off. Like, what the hell?
It's part of the Shustybang charm, though. Is exactly who is Snoop going to kick off on this video?
Yeah.
I think it works for you guys, yeah.
So the last point I wanted to make was regarding all the good people and the bad people we've met, and some of the I guess quote unquote shicey things we see that goes on with Battlefield 3 or really any game. It's a golden rule. So long as there is money to be made, you're gonna have good people doing good things with good intentions, and you're gonna have real shicey fuckbags out there that do some of the lamest, stupidest shit because all they want to see is that dollar figure at the end of the month as big as they possibly can, and fuck everything else. So you gotta block out those people and just ignore them the best you can. And yeah, like obviously still get wound up when you see it, but it's one of those we gotta keep focusing and supporting all the people that are the good people out there doing the good thing and not being absolute fuckbags about what they're uploading.
Yeah.
Word.
So succinct at the end.
I don't know, Chris, did you want to tackle real quick before we wrap this freaking massive commentary up about what Battlefield 3 has done for us?
No, there's not much. I honestly don't think there's much more to say that everybody else hasn't said. We're in agreement all across the board. Obviously, it's given us a means to a popular channel and an outlet to create content and have it seen by thousands of people, so that's awesome. But other than that, I think pretty much everything's been said.
Fair enough. All right, guys, is there anything else? Anyone, last minute thoughts before we wrap this whole shebang up?
Hope to see you in BF4.
Oh, I'm definitely going to be there for BF4.
Don't leave me. Don't leave me, Sean.
So until October, we'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one I prioritize is the one that gets the DLCs first.
See? There you go.
So you could take it off the account. Nice.
Yeah. I'm going to set up a different one. I'm going to set up a Shustybang account. and I'm going to act real scandalous over there. I'll wait for you guys to do a video and then just straight copy it.
You know what, Scanner? I'll do that
So
with
you'll
you.
have
It's got to be a duo. That's the way it works.
Oh, yeah, we can be a Siamese twin called Chris.
It's right.
It could be called one called Cake Thriller and someone called whatever.
I would actually consider myself a real life cake thriller. So it's all good.
All right, guys, I hope everyone has enjoyed this really long commentary regarding everything Battlefield 3. I guess we'll just probably end up calling it a Battlefield 3 a reflection. We'll get real deep with this title, make you guys wonder, oh, I wonder what they're talking about. We covered a lot, so I hope you guys were patient enough to sit through the whole thing, and if you did, we appreciate it. The secret code at the end, Peregrine took, if you made it through the whole thing. Leave a comment saying that. We've done that before. It actually went over really well. So, most importantly, take a moment to please go to the video description and check a link for everyone's channels that's been involved in the commentary. Drop them a subscribe, you know, if you like what they had to offer, and they've got great content on their channel. There's a reason why they're here, where we're all together doing this. And aside from that, they're just great people. So I ask, please, that you go ahead and support them. Other than that, that's going to wrap it up. Everyone say your goodbyes, and we will talk to you later.
Ta-ra!
Peace.
Bye-bye.